Let me start with you, Carol Lee, and on this breaking news that the president's own coronavirus task force members, two doctors who've become household names because they stood shoulder to shoulder, sometimes barely shielding their grimaces at his remarks at those coronavirus task force briefings, advised this White House and this president not to do exactly what he's doing tomorrow.
Yeah, that's right, Nicole. Two people familiar with these discussions are telling us that they cautioned the White House against holding rallies, these large-scale gatherings indoors because of the health risks of that. Now, we know that Dr. Fauci said publicly in an interview that he wouldn't attend these rallies himself, that absolutely not, he wouldn't go. And the White House says that a White House official told us that they did discuss this with members of the task force and sought their input, but point to the fact that Oklahoma is in a phase 3 of reopening and that the task force had a hand in writing those phase 3 guidelines, and they feel comfortable with where they're at. And this is just part of a larger pattern that we've seen since the coronavirus task force's inception. And as the pandemic continued and the president started to push back on the closing up of the country and really focusing on the economy, that tension has always been there, where you have the members of the task force who are health experts saying that they recommend one thing, and the White House and the president saying that that's not exactly the direction that they want to go in. And that's what's happening with their rallies and happened behind the scenes. And it comes also at a time when we've seen these briefings from members of the coronavirus task force really just go away. And White House officials told us that we shouldn't expect them to come back anytime soon. One of them saying that that's not going to happen unless there's some very significant event. There are clinical trials for a vaccine, for instance, or there's a very significant, massive uptick in the number of coronavirus cases. That for now, what you're going to see is not Dr. Fauci or Dr. Birx from the White House podium. They're going to direct Americans to their state and local government officials, and they're going to essentially use the White House press secretary as the translator of whatever those folks are saying, the experts are saying behind the scenes, and that she can say, give their message once it goes through, obviously, the White House's preferred filter from the White House podium. But, you know, the big headline here is that these experts have said that and advised behind the scenes that something like what the president's planning on doing tomorrow indoors with tens of thousands of people is not recommended.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.